Valentine's Day. Don't we love it? Valentine's Day. We've all heard your typical whiner who says, "It's just a holiday made up by Hallmark to sell cards." And then we've heard the enthusiast that says, "But it's an excuse to show how much you love your spouse, your family, your friends. It's a wonderful holiday to just indulge in love and happiness and butterflies and rainbows, unicorns and chocolates and flowers." Well, I am both and neither. I don't choose to deny the history of Valentine's Day. In fact, I kind of laugh at how it came about, but I also choose to indulge a little bit on Valentine's Day. But financially, I don't throw that much money into the hallmark of it. That's saved for anniversaries and birthdays and stuff. You know, the days that we can remember why we're celebrating. So for those of you who, like myself, can find humor in the fact that this holiday is derived from something that has nothing to do with love or romance, follow me and I'll relay you a summary of the history. Obviously, we all know the Valentines of today as a celebration by passing and exchanging purchased cards, chocolates, roses, and other staples. But did you know that before today, it was also a celebration? It was a pagan festival renamed St. Valentine's Day after not one, but two Christian martyrs. Incidentally, the name Valentine back in that day was about as common as Ashley, Andrew, Christian, Anthony of today. Isn't it great to know that people have just not become more creative in time? Then again, if you have creative parents, you end up with the name Apple. In fact, until 1969, the Catholic Church recognized 11 Valentine Days. The ones that are celebrated and remembered on the 14th are a Valentine of Rome and Tourney. Mr. Rome Buddy suffered martyrdom in about AD 269 and was buried on Via Flaminia. Tourney Buddy became bishop in about AD 197, and it's said that he was killed during the persecution of Emperor Aurelian. He's buried alongside Rome Buddy. Are we sure they're not the same person? There's a third Valentine mentioned who was apparently killed in Africa alongside some friends, but people know shit about him. That's pretty much it. He died in Africa with some friends. The festival had nothing to do with love until this Geoffrey guy and his friends made it so in about the 1400s when romance was at its peak. In fact, at the time that they made it about romance, they didn't know or give a rat's ass about two dead guys. And for the record, the first documented real successful person in the hallmarky fashion of Valentine's Day was a girl. This little lady had a very successful business of making homemade, handmade cards to give out back in about 1847. As I was saying about the Catholic Church, back in 1969, they revised some things. Not to say the Bible hasn't been revised a few times so that kings could divorce their wives and, you know, things like that. Cheating isn't necessarily bad, but homosexuality still isn't accepted. All we need is some king to be homosexual, and then they'll revise the Bible again. I do not mean any offense against Catholics or any religion. I'm just stating there's been some revisions. In 1969, they revised the general Roman calendar to remove the feast day from February 14th, and the reason was this. Though the memorial of St. Valentine's Day is ancient, it is left on particular calendars, since, apart from the name, nothing is known of St. Valentine's except that he was buried on the Via Flaminia on February 14th. The Catholics claim to know jack about our two Valentine boys. There are two variations known to us today on the life and times of our Valentine boys. So one of them, unbeknownst to me which one, since their names are exactly the same, apparently attempted to convert Roman Emperor Claudius II to Christianity. As a result, he was executed. But story doesn't end there. You see, prior to his execution, he performed a miracle, healing some jailer's blind daughter from her blindness. He cured her blindness. She could see. Another variation of that same story about probably the same Valentine. Again, I don't know which one, Rome or Tourney. They were buried in the same place, a few years apart. The claim on this one is that Roman Emperor Claudius II demanded that young men remain single. Well, that's not very romantic. This was done apparently to grow his army larger. But our Mr. Valentine boy was performing secret, undercover marriage ceremonies for the young men and their women so that they could, badoink-a-doink, and because you had to be married to badoink-a-doink. Allegedly, Valentine was a priest in this variation of the story. And Claudius found out about the secret marriages. Kind of saw that coming, didn't we? And had him jailed to be executed. But that wouldn't be hallmarky enough. So they add this little tidbit at the very end. Before his execution, this Valentine boy wrote the first ever Valentine. But guess who he wrote it to? The blind girl who he healed of blindness. And the note read, "From your Valentine." And that is the story of how Valentine's Day came about. If you believe any of that BS. Honestly, Valentine's Day is a celebratory day for two dead guys that nobody knows shit about, but have twisted stories to make it so we can sell cards. Since 1847. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Or as I like to put it, Happy Dead Guy Day.
This has been a bwings production.
And then we've all met that single person who gives you a black rose and scowls. It was a pagan vestival. Mr. Romebuddy suffered martyrdom. He was killed on the Via Flaminia, not in. Although he is buried in, so I don't know why it's on, but whatever. In the persecution of, I burped midway through that, that was wonderful. Bishop it was a pagan festival. Why can I not say festival on Via? Sitting. Cut. Can't again. And no crows this time. Note, there's no crows. Via Flavonia. That all of the pagan festival. Oh my God, guys, could we lose some of the hearts and flowers? It's overwhelming in here.